there's rumors going into training camp that he was going to start the year on the PUP. He had the hand surgery and the shoulder surgery during the offseason, and he's still recovering from that. But came out day one, was one of the first people you saw on the fields on the training camp day one with the quarterbacks and rookies, and Pacheco was there, yellow jersey, non-contact jersey. So obviously, and he hasn't been really doing any workouts to this point, so him being on the field is obviously a good sign. But JD, we're talking about a guy who, surprised a lot of people last year, but he had the hand surgery and shoulder surgery this offseason. He's obviously working back slowly. However, in the press conference today, he said that he expects to have 1,000 yards this year, and he expects to go full throttle game one of the season. That's what he's saying. However, yellow non-contact jersey, this team is a team that's looking to January and February, so they might take the steps to make sure all our guys are right to that. But if you were coaching this team, and you obviously play under Andy Reid, so you know how he's going to do things, how do you see them kind of, managing him as we get through the early part of the season and training camp?
You got to manage him like he's your RB1. That's how you got to manage him. I mean, this is our guy that we had as our starting running back. We have a good number of guys in camp at running back that can take the reps. He doesn't need to do anything. When I see the video, it looked like he's in shape. He looked fast. He looked quick. He didn't need to be anywhere near contact right now at all. Nowhere near contact. Matter of fact, I tell him come out there to the practice field with one of those bubble wrap. Come on, a whole bubble wrap around your body. I don't want nobody touching you. All right? And so if she's projecting, being ready for week one, I don't see any reason to dismiss that. Right? I'm sure he's having a constant contact with the training staff and the doctors and whatnot on his progression and where he could be. So he's like, hey, man, I'll be ready week one. And so this is a good thing about camp because you do have time to get ready. You get time to everything to heal. So, yeah, I don't worry about that at all. And he's going to do the right thing. He's going to do the right thing for Pacheco, and he's going to do the right thing for the team. That's why he's got a stable of studs. He's got a stable of studs. Okay, CH is still there. All right, we know Jet McKinnon's doing a good job. Prince, there's Prince is there also. So you got Edley, you got guys. We have guys that can run the football, and so you got to manage him like you're not playing today because you're not. You got to manage him like week one is weeks away because it is. So that's the best way to do it. That's the best approach. Take your time with it. Hey, get yourself ready. Still run, get conditioning and stuff like that. That's fine. Contact, no. I don't want you doing anything. Okay. Heck, matter of fact, if that's his hand that he's writing signatures with, don't even sign. I don't want you signing autograph. Okay. Do what you left. Figure out what you left. Okay. I want you doing it that way.
So yeah, avoid those Dick's signings, those appearances, Pacheco.
Oh yeah.
But we're talking about the hand and shoulder too. Those are pretty significant. I know it's not lower body injuries, and everyone always those are obviously the top of the worst injuries for a running back. But shoulder and hand for a guy who takes a lot of beatings and a lot of contact, it's a big deal, and that's probably the smartest thing to do, especially if you're recovering from those specific injuries as we kind of get closer to the season, right? I mean, it's because those injuries.
They're significant. Depends on what actually the injury is, right? Like how devastating of injury it was, correct? And so, obviously because you have different injuries on shoulders and hands, it may not be that detrimental to what he's doing, okay? He may be able to heal fast. He's a young guy. So if we're projecting week one, and that's perfect. If we're sitting there saying maybe week 6, something different, right? Because it's like, okay, we got to make sure he's not rushing the guy back. So that's very important. It's very important that, like I said, you're putting the kid gloves on him, make sure you're managing him well, okay? And you just got to monitor these things, and they do a good job of that. Doctors, trainers, all of them doing a great job of that. Rick, those guys, Dr. Monaco, and all they have a wonderful staff. They do. Wonderful staff.
And this is something that I just find it funny because when a player says, "Yeah, I'll be ready to go. I'll be ready to go week one. I'll have 1,000 yards this season." obviously different from what a coach, like, we talk about a team that's got eyes on February, eyes on January. We don't really, obviously we care about the opening of the season, but like, we're not going to throw the guy out there and feed him the ball, especially in this offense. But there's a difference there, right? Between what a player thinks, how his injury's progressing versus how a coach sees how they're going to manage him, right?
Well, somewhat. I think you want to have probably the best positive projection that you could possibly have. But I know one thing: the Joker came in last year and said he was going to take a grown man's job, but he did it. Okay,
it's true.
So I ain't got no reason to doubt what Pacheco says. He told me he's going to come back week 1, fine. If he doesn't, not bothered by it. Not bothered by it whatsoever. Like I said, we got a great stable of guys out there right now, and which actually goes into like the broader, context of running backs and their value, right? I mean, we've been kind of talking about that. I know we're probably going to bring some of those things up, but to me, when you look at it, we lucked out with having Pacheco, having this guy being a back of last year, him having the success that he did. So, man, it's a plus for us. 7th round pick. Come on, man. Shoot, We're winning. We are winning right now. So you can just see the significance on the value of running backs. Okay, and I've been trying to make this. I actually put out a tweet talking about the running backs' value. Okay, and how we should not try to devalue these guys that are so vital, so important to the team. Okay, I mean, it's imperative that you have a good running back on your squad. You have to. And so there's been a lot of talk about guys, running backs not getting paid. Not, but sure, you see the punishment they take, right?
Yeah.
So.
And Pacheco's a good example of that, with the all-season shoulder and hand surgery. And this is a 7th round guy who's not making the big bucks yet.
Right, but now somebody would argue, well, that's the reason why you don't pay these guys, because they get hurt. They have a real short shelf life. Well, also, too, these guys have been putting the time in, dedicating themselves and their body to the game, to advance teams to become playoff teams, Super Bowl teams or whatnot, okay? I'd say I put in there because of Jet and because of Pacheco, we in the Super Bowl and we win it last year.
Yep.
That's a fact for this year. We win it. That's a fact. Without those guys, who knows? Who knows? Yep. I know we didn't have them the year before, or at least trying that running back to get in. We lost to Cincinnati. Okay, we're trying to pass the ball down on the 5-yard line. We passed each and every one. We didn't run the ball not once. Not once. Unless you want to talk about Patrick running back, retreating for 15, 20 yards, right? Yeah. So we understand the value of these guys, okay? And there's been a thing about guys getting together, running backs getting together to try to stop all these things happening, and I'm all for it, man. I'm on board with it.
Hi, everybody. Thanks for watching. Subscribe here to get the latest from the show. Also, be sure to check out the best clips from Chief Concerns. And if you prefer to listen to the show, subscribe and follow us on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and anywhere else you get your podcasts.